The favorites, we here for the latest. South side or the north side, not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball, but we don't pull the wrong strings. Yeah, it's that time of the year now. Wrigley or guarantee, so the whole league that we here now. New show with a new mood, discussions and interviews. Trade rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
What's up, fellas? We're gonna have to do something here real quick before we get started.
Uh-oh. I did wear pants though.
No, I'm gonna.
Oh, not that.
The Zoe residence internet has been very finicky all day today. So
Has it been Jimmy finicky?
Save the A material for the show, Fitz. Hold on, let me switch. I'm gonna go away for a second and then come right back.
That's what my parents said when I was a kid, and they never came back. Don't go, Zoe.
Before we get officially underway, shout out to Zoe being on B-Flow show, the Aju this week.
Great episode.
Free plug.
He is. Oh, there he is.
Yep, I'm back. I know because I was switching internet.
While you were away,
right.
Zoe, I plugged you. Oh, your appearance.
Quit that.
No. Your appearance.
Aldo plugged you.
All right, you guys ready?
First, didn't even buy you dinner first. Yeah.
All right. 3. Hold on, shit. All right. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, January 11th, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Zwatsky, a.k.a. Father Zoe, a.k.a. Southside Zoe. And with me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
Guys, we left off last week's show. That was a little late with the Shota news, and to everyone's surprise, because nothing was happening, the Cubs actually did something. They got their guy. Or maybe the guy got his team.
And ladies and gentlemen, he's certainly Ken enough, the good Reverend K. Fids.
Finally, the Cubs have made a transaction in the 2023-24 offseason, and it's as glorious as I imagined.
So we do actually have baseball stuff to talk about this week, which is wild. So it won't be 2 hours of us just bullshitting, which was last week.
That was fun. Friday night special.
Really weird. Went to 108 Day the next day, and numerous amount of people came up to me and was like, "That was an awesome show last night." I was like, "Really? Was it?
What? You sure about that? You sure about that?
But
everybody was still hungover after New Year's.
Apparently, people like it when we just kind of, so to speak, let our hair down. So maybe we should do that more often. I think we do it every week, but
So you're telling me I should eat some edibles real quick?
I think you were going to do that anyway, Kev.
No, but I did. I mean, I am a big winner tonight with that. I went into the dispensary to grab some edibles, and they informed me that I was a $500 drawing winner. So I had $500 in credits now.
That's awesome.
That's how I look. So I'm going to take 2 of these. We'll go 2.
But we do have baseball news. The Cubs finally did make a move, which was newsworthy, and hopefully that opens up the doors for a couple other ones that they are rumored to. So we're going to get into the news Cubs pitcher. We'll get into the Cubs rumor. Then there's actually some White Sox stuff to talk about too. New agents and rumors galore. All that and then some. We're taking edibles. Shit's going to get weird. Let's tap this keg. As always, the show is brought to you by SportsMikery, sportsmikery.com. Make sure you download the app, turn on push notifications, so you'll be the first to know if there's any moves by either team or the Bears, for that matter, in Chicago. You'll be the first one of your friends to know. Be that guy when you're either at work or you're out and you'll be like, oh, shit, the Cubs just got Matt Chapman, and you're the first guy to know. Like, now you're that guy. We just made you that guy. Or when then your buddy that shows up 20 minutes late and is like, whoa, shit, you guys see they got Chapman? You give him a tardy slip.
I mean, there's nothing better than being the newsbreaker.
That's what maybe that should be our new piece of merch. Pinwheels and Ivy tardy slips.
Ooh.
So when your friend does it, you just be like, nope, tardy slip. You're very late.
They could be
And
called
also brought to you
Mitch Bucks.
kick rocks. Also brought to you by Uncle Bud's, 9700 South Cicero in Oak Lawn. For those Southside OGs, used to be where TC's was. Everybody remembers where TC's was there. So you two know TC's was there for like 2,000 years since the dawn of man. And then they left and Uncle Bud's went in that spot. That's why I say that, because everybody went to TC. Everyone's been to TC's. I've heard from someone in the comment section right now that the steak sandwich is a go-to order. I've never had it there, but this is the second or third time I've heard it's really good. Get yourself a steak sandwich. Highly recommend anything off the appetizer menu. Surprisingly, the soup is really good. So go out there and get base.
Just to get a base.
Yeah. And then drink your face off. Fizz is already getting fat shamed in the comments.
Oh, already.
And so we are ready to roll. So to start things off right away, let's talk about the Cubs finally making a move, because this is a big deal. The reason why this is a big deal is we've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for it for a while. The Cubs came out of the gate really hot. For those White Sox fans that are watching this right now, just hang tight with us. This is interesting. The Cubs came out of the gate really hot. Hired arguably the best free agent manager available in a long time in Craig Counsell, and everyone, including all three people you see on the show, most of the people in the comments, most people in the baseball world, thought it meant big things were going to come pretty soon thereafter. And I mean, Ohtani was always kind of a pipe dream for the Cubs. You know, some people took it more serious than others, but then that domino fell and it was like, okay, time to get going. And then more time went by. And then it was, okay, guys, come on. And then
Christmas. Then New Year's.
and it was New Year's. And then it was a 3-hour-long Friday night show. And then it was what is going on? And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday, January 9th, it became a reality. The White Sox ain't signing no one.
You wish. No,
I wish. The Cubs got their man in Shota. Now, some people are calling him the consolation prize coming out of that league. I mean, that's kind of unfair to him. I think any other year that's people going crazy over it signing. It just so happens that Yamamoto came out this year. I'm just going to give you the contract information. I'm going to turn it over to our two Cubs guys here. I went to school on them too. I have some questions for you too, but I want to hear your breakdowns. The contract is interesting though, and this is why it makes an even better signing in my opinion. Mm-hmm. They got him on a 4-year, $53 million deal. After 2 years, the team has the option to extend the contract to an $80 million over 5 years. If they decline, Shota has the option to become a free agent. Same after the 3rd year. Now, something key to remember here is the AAV is going to hit a little bit differently because of how this is structured. So basically, they're going to get hit for like 13, 14 million on the AAV towards the cap. And then after year 3, that's what we don't know is if it goes into like a average of the 5 years or what, but that's for you nerds to figure out. But as far as actually on the field stuff, like I said, I was bored yesterday, so I actually went to school on this, guys, but I want you two to jump in, get it started, and we'll go from there.
Well, I was going to say with the contract stuff, when we do figure out the AAV, it's going to be great news if we do have to figure out, is it the AAV for the 4-year, the 53 million? Is it the 5-year, 80 million? Because that means that the Cubs extended him because he was really damn good. They're like, yes, we want to keep you. Oh, we want you here for another couple years.
This is working.
Yes, it's working.
Yeah.
Like I said in the chat and how there's been saying in our group chat, I mean, it seems like a pretty solid deal. I wrote the headline, low risk move for the Cubs here. because let's say it goes, because we always talk about, risk management and what happens if things blow up, right? So worst case scenario, it's 4 years, $53 million. And again, that would be like $13 million a year. Rough, but again, that's not a backbreaker. That's not like
not at all.
the team can't do anything anymore.
That's
on the other side,
that's not an Albert Pujols on the Angels.
Right. That's not I would even say, like, you can go with the Cubs, like when they signed Hayward and he kind of just wasn't good after, like,
right.
And you knew it. And the Cubs use that as an excuse not to spend anymore. It's not that either. On the other side, let's say he pitches 2 years. He's great. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That means you got a really good value for 2 years, like $15 million or so. And then by that time, hopefully the Cubs have developed or feel enough confidence in a few of their younger pitchers, either Cade Horton or Ben Brown, or maybe some other prospect comes along the next couple of years. So that's another win-win scenario for the Cubs, hopefully. As far as the consolation prize, I mean, I still remember thinking back to like the Shohei sweepstakes and still thinking ahead to the Cubs offseason. Any player that wasn't Shohei Ohtani was going to be just like a big letdown.
True.
In comparison.
Very true.
Like, that's just, I mean, this guy, Shohei Ohtani, is a true unicorn there. And I'm sure we're going to get into the stuff, the worries, the good. But on the surface level, just looking at the deal, the negotiations, talked about it a little before we started to record. But Jesse Rod, I read the story where that's coming from, where Imanaga was staying in Chicago since Christmas.
Homie's been just chilling here.
He was reportedly
he went to Uncle Bud's and never left.
He reportedly
rumor has it Uncle Bud sealed that deal.
Maybe he got the steak sandwich. Yeah.
Steak sandwich.
I think he got the steak sandwich from him.
Sandwiches or steak sandwiches.
It was reported earlier in the offseason that he had already previously visited Chicago. And really, when you look at the finalists, that was the Red Sox, the Angels, the Giants, along with the Cubs. Chicago seemed like the only city that he visited. I don't know. Maybe he read that Buster Posey story and was too scared to go to San Francisco. I'm not sure, but it seemed like he pinpointed Chicago as his spot, and obviously the deadline helped because as we've seen with other free agents, it's not like they're in line waiting to.
This is
like
why Major League Baseball.
Now.
Why Major League Baseball should have something like this in line.
Yes, because it benefits the owners. Correct. And it benefits the owners in Japan for making sure
it benefits the guys it benefits the guys that do weekly shows, Fids. I'm not getting into a massive capitalism debate with you. I'm just saying I want shit to happen.
I mean, Yamamoto had a deadline too.
Yep.
He got $325 million. Deadline.
So Fids, I know you've been breaking down his stuff, and the way that I want to get you started with this is basically, fellas, I'm really excited that I actually did homework before the show. So I want to tell you some of the things that I heard, and then you could either agree with it or tell me why that's complete bullshit. That work?
Let's do it.
And then you can go more into descriptions about his stuff, because I feel like that's a good way to extend it.
Kevin, we got to get our bullshit meter out.
Yep. Yeah. So he is the same.
No, that's not it. That one maybe that could be that.
So
windshield wipers.
He is the same build as Yamamoto. Little guy, not a big dude. So he's a left-hander. He's not going to blow guys away. He sits 93, 95. They said there was a velo uptick in the WBC. And the biggest thing that I learned about researching this dude, you guys know when you watch the Japanese league, like you watch those highlights and the ball looks like a fucking Frisbee when these guys are pitching? They use a goddamn smaller baseball. I did not know that.
Not because it's cold. It's actually made.
That was the guy
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Lighter, smaller, and actually has more tack too.
Yes.
It's tackier too.
That blew me away yesterday. And then because of that guy that you sent, Aldo, that worked for Marquee, he showed that how there was less movement on his pitches in the WBC, but he actually led the WBC in stuff plus because of his locations. And so basically what I got from this guy is not a hard thrower, kind of like almost like a Yu Darvish with an arsenal of pitches that's almost limitless. Throws a fuck ton of strikes. The biggest thing that concerns me, and I guess you could start here, is I keep seeing him labeled as a fly ball pitcher. How does that work in Wrigley Field? That's like throwing a fly ball pitcher in fucking Coors.
You're forgetting about Chicago in April and May, so
True. Okay.
But you also got
2 months.
it's approach. It's approach. It's he's going to be a guy that's going to live up in the zone as opposed to guys that live down in the zone because of I think some of it has to do with his arm slot. He runs a really good four seamer too, and I think that as a result, especially guys that again he's coming from a league that is not lift and launch angle, and it's more contact and punch and. He still strikes a bunch of dudes out there. He was still one of the best strikeout, if not the best strikeout guy there. Even
insane strikeout rate.
Yeah, and he's also has incredible command at 74% strike ratio. Like he's good with that stuff. His big thing is that he is a fly ball pitcher, but his approach, if he works down in the zone, especially with some of his stuff, he's gonna get beat bad. But if he can keep those guys, again, you work up in the zone, which is again pretty much all of baseball at this point. The giant hole in everybody's swing is up, and especially obviously under the hands because they get wrapped up. They get tied up and they can't get around on a baseball. So his approach, because of his command, still, I think it kind of counteracts the fact that he is a fly ball pitcher because he's also shown the ability to dot and locate. And so he's able to get these spots that allow him the opportunity to pitch away from that weakness. Now, when he goes with his splitter or whether it's his cutter, which is his cutter's kind of mediocre anyway, but he does throw a really good sweeper too. It's pretty good. A good right, for especially right-handers, a good back right foot pitch, which that's where he can move down in the zone with the off speed. But the cutter's mediocre. And in the splitter too, in a weird way, it drops. It's a vertical drop, but it actually doesn't have a horizontal movement at all. So no onside, arm side run. It's literally up and it's down, and so it doesn't. Real move.
Quick, are you worried of him relying too heavily on that cutter? Because that was a go-to pitch for him. He threw a lot of cutters.
Well, the thing I've seen with him is that part of coming to to Major League Baseball is the fact that he does have like 5 or 6 pitches. He even has 3 different types of splitters. And you have these types of things. So for him, it's going to be, look, over there, you can do this stuff because the players aren't going to leave the yard if you make a mistake with them as often. Here, you make a mistake and the guy's going to hit one out on Sheffield or Waveland. And so for him, the idea of fine-tuning the consistency in the other secondary pitches besides his, improving a little bit of movement on that splitter, finding ways to get that cutter, more refined so it's actually a good plus pitch for him as opposed to just a pitch that has in his repertoire but he really not going to use very frequently. And so, that's a good part about this is that he may be a fly ball guy, but at the same time, he also has an approach that will lend itself well to the weaknesses of the modern Major League game as well. And that's a thing that I think will counteract that. The 74% strike rate, dude dots. That's something that is so incredibly effective. You said 95. He was throwing 94 in the WBC early on, obviously. In the MPB league, he was throwing really on average roughly like 91. And that was obviously once he got into the season. So there was a considerable drop, but it doesn't affect him because he locates. He's a guy that, again, as a lefty, he's got a lower arm slot than the average lefty. He does a lot of things that are just.
Hold on, sorry. Shout out to Stephen. Shout out to the homie, Stephen Burnett. Nobody outbid Stephen for common attention. I love it, man. I'm glad.
I know we're only at $4.99.
Yeah, we're at $4.99. If someone wants to,
do I see a high?
And then I know you guys put it up here, but I do want to say thanks, Drew. I appreciate the super chat there. He said, "Good move for the Cubs, but they need another starter." Although, question for you. Now, reading more into this guy, and like Fid said, the part where it says he has 3 different kinds of splitters, he almost to me kind of sounds like a Japanese Greg Maddux, where he's going on the mound and he's not going to blow by you, and he's going to throw a splitter low and away, and you're not going to fucking hit it.
But he has shown he can nut up if he has to, by the way.
Yes, he does have that. in his back pocket. And we did see in the higher stake WBC game he pitched, the velo was ramped up. Like he can get, like Fitz said, he can, get his foot down on some shit. But I don't know. Are you kind of getting that vibe from him, Aldo, or what kind of pitcher do you see him being?
I don't know if I would go the Greg Maddux way, but
I'm not saying he is Greg Maddux. So
but yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, you're right. Obviously, the profile of the guy who's not gonna. But like Kevin brought up, like he did lead the MPB, the league in Japan, in strikeouts. So obviously he has good stuff in a league that is very contact oriented, where these guys make a lot more contact than the average MLB hitter, and he was still able to find ways to put them away. With the splitter stuff, looking at that, I mean, great pitch. You don't see that obviously a lot from lefties. Probably a pitch that maybe the Cubs want to see more. Maybe they want to see him use that more. I think that's one of the video that I sent you guys in the group chat from Lance, out in, who works for Marquee Sports Network. He was mentioning how in Japan, they do mix it up more. They do go. Maybe the game plans aren't as sophisticated for whatever reason, and as he mentioned in his video, like that doesn't make it right or wrong, or whatever. But that's just how things operate in Japan and their pitching coaches. And in MLB, we've seen in recent years how pitching has become a lot more in depth. Like teams want you if you have like one good pitch and like hitters just can't hit that. Teams don't care teams are like, all right, use that pitch.
You can't be a major league starter with one fucking pitch. But
ask Justin Steele. What are you talking about? Ask Justin Steele. That's my other part. Oh, we got a bidding war here, folks.
We got Poloni coming in at $9.99. Your move, Stephen.
Your move, Steve. I mean, you wanted to call people out.
All right, man.
So, that's the thing. That's one of the things that got me excited when I saw Shota's name being tossed around with the Cubs as a possibility, and his repertoire.
Although I'm going to share this video because this is a different one than the one we were looking at earlier. But this one shows like some crazy like views of his pitch movement. You keep going.
But his fastball that has like basically unmatched movement from any other MLB starter. It's just like Justin Steele is a guy who doesn't overpower guys. You would think by his stuff.
This.
He throws like 91, 92, 93. And you're thinking, wait, how is this lefty with like one fastball and like one like all right slider? How is he getting away with this? Justin Steele was like a Cy Young candidate right up till like the last couple weeks of the season. So yes, you can be a great starting pitcher with just one pitch. And the Cubs just showed it with one of the young guys, which makes me excited to see what they can do with Shota. And maybe tell him, hey, use that fastball more. It's a great pitch, but maybe locate it a little better against righties.
So you see that sweeper right here, right? This is absolutely filthy against lefties. Yes. And the sweeper that he's going to throw to righties, that's what we say back right foot. He's obviously going to put it basically in the same spot. It's going to be something that someone's going to roll over or swing all the way through. And that sweeper obviously intrigues you. That and the splitter intrigue me. I think he's going to utilize that splitter as a changeup more than because I don't hear much about an actual just like traditional change.
Dude, so he is dotting. This whole video is just him throwing fucking dots.
No, that's the other part. And again, like everyone's mentioned, he doesn't walk guys. He walked 24 guys and like 160 innings. That's like a 3%.
Oh, wait. We're going straight Price is Right rules over here on the Super Cast. Joey P coming in at $10 flat.
There we go.
Buying new Jays, so I'll support y'all instead. Joey P, welcome to the board, man. We appreciate you, Joey P. The shoe game, much respect. He had the new Jordan 11 Gratitudes on at 108 day, looking clean as shit on a snowy night.
Were they size 20? Because boy, I feel like they were size 20s because he just went.
There was some,
just dropped it on the table just now.
They were clean as shit, and I always have respect for very good shoe games, and so he put my flu games to shame that night. I thought I'd be flexing on people wearing the flu games, and he shows up with the Gratitudes, and I was like, God damn. So
Look at
Joey
that. I mean,
P,
look at that.
much
Just
respect.
dot in the edges.
That's pretty funny.
Damn, we might all be going Uncle Buds after this shit.
All
I'll
right,
fly
yeah,
you
here we
guys in
go.
if we get
We're all gonna get steak
$100
sandwiches for
super chats.
everybody.
So
Fucking
something
hell.
just to jump back into Shota too is look at the delivery too. I love this. Again, he's what you would consider a crafty lefty because of the way he goes about things, but he still has giddy up. But I love look at the pause at the top of his apex. I love how when before he gets to his break, he's actually paused, which is again, this is what lends to say he's got a quiet delivery. This is probably why he can dot so well. It's such look at how smooth he gets that apex, pauses, comes through. Look at his finish too. Like when he's pulling through, he's pulling straight through towards the catcher. A lot of guys maybe pull towards the dugout to their glove hand side because they're a little bit out of control. But his arm slot and where he's pulling, which is straightforward, lends itself to accuracy. His eyes aren't moving as much, so your target's not moving as much. And at the same time, you're also looking at a guy that literally finishes and is now a perfectly balanced defensive position to pick his spot as a defender as well. Things that sometimes guys forfeit when they're a little bit too much out of control pulling that glove hand side through. But I love that.
Like he keeps going in on the hands on that cutter to righties too. And this entire highlight video, the first pitch has been in on it. Like watch. Whoop. Nope, that's a dot. But one thing though, isn't that kind of like a staple of this league though with pitchers for that hesitation right at the peak kind of thing, or in the extended late kick?
Yep, it's
becoming a newer thing.
Hitter's timing.
Yeah.
Again, this is something that again, as Major League Baseball continues to try and like stifle the pitchers by changing rules, this is something that I'm sure you're going to see visited in the future. I think they've already they've already made some of the fixes with the guys leaping off the rubber, touching the pitcher's plate twice. There's a lot of things that honestly, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Major League Baseball that they don't call too. I mean, some of these guys are balking all the time, and they're not calling. Again, for example, you can't just certain little things around the pitcher's plate, taking signs off, while you're on the dirt, things like that. Just a lot of other things. But these guys this apex thing is a great way to like refocus, and we see it. Even down here at the lower levels, at the high school level too, you see guys doing this. And usually, though, I know it sounds funny, but it's usually the guys that are in the early parts of their development,
never bunt,
their pitching coach, and so they're doing that as part of their slow progression towards being a guy. Like they usually throw only out of the stretch. They usually pause at the apex like that to control their body and to get that fundamental like readjustment. And then as you get older, these guys, I've seen a Brophy Prep does this actually. No pitcher in their program is allowed to pitch out of the windup until they're a senior in high school. If you're a freshman through junior, always stretch. So everyone pitches out of the stretch until they're a senior, and then they get
go ahead, finish.
It's just interesting but this is a thing though that for a guy that's already somewhat developed, he's 30, he's developed, he's still utilizing this, and it's effective because of how much command he has, and that's going to be fun to watch for guys that love pitchers. Watching guys that can locate are just fun because you actually are playing chess. It's one thing to just be a fucking meatball and just throw 103 and just fucking. But guys that go do this, they're fun.
No, I'm real quick here. I know the Giants, the team he's pitching against here, they're like one of the juggernauts in the league, right? They're like they're always good, right? I don't know why I just recognize that. But
did Tom Selleck play for them though?
I think I think that's why I recognize the jerseys. But
maybe
let's talk about that hat, because I might be ordering some Japanese League hats because that's pretty damn clean. The little Y with the star. I won't know what it means. I won't know how to pronounce it. But it looks like a Y and it's pretty dope. But I don't know where the hell I found this YouTube video, but I appreciate how this is showing like entire at bats.
Yep.
If you look at his arm angle, and I know it's always tough trying to come up with like player comparisons.
Look how balanced he is, though. Look at his finish. It's so controlled. Like, can you rewind that just a split? Watch. Look where he finishes.
Yeah.
Like, he's there. That was a little bit bigger of a finish, but it was probably a big moment.
Look at that virtual in-game live.
Look at this shit, man. I seriously have no idea where I found this, but this is like the perfect video to be playing while we're breaking this guy down. This is awesome.
So if you go back and you look at his arm slot, and in one of the videos of the breakdowns of him and his stuff, The comparison that they brought up, and it does go with his fastball shape and how much it
Interesting, 'cause
moves,
Nunez,
the release
he is
point.
not Japanese.
And I know White Sox fans don't like this guy because he stole Dylan Cease's all-star spot a few years ago. But the comparison that they brought up was Nestor Cortez of the Yankees. Both
Yes.
lefties, they have a similar arm
He's got
angle on the release.
the timing thing and all that stuff.
Sometimes the timing thing, yep. And then, but it's mostly it's the fastball shape and the release. And I mean, if you look at Nestor Cortez before he had some injuries last year, that was a pretty damn good pitcher.
There's comps to Alex Vesia too, and I want to think those were actually more accurate just simply because the velocity. Cortez throws 91. Vesia throws, he throws more, or whatever throws 94, 95. So I like both of those though. You could think it works. Some real quick to pay attention to. This is what I noticed while we're watching this because I'm like obviously kind of keeping my eye on him. His follow through when he knows the ball is put in play. Watch the difference between when he knows he's beating somebody at the plate and he's not he's pitching. He's getting away from contact where he finishes. But watch how he alters his left leg when the ball is put in play. He literally stops that front side and gets into a defensive position before, like, watch. Hopefully someone will put one up. See, you see, like, it's not like he doesn't.
No, I see what you're saying.
Barrel, he ends up sideways, but that's because he knows he's beating someone. He's finishing through. Whereas if the ball's in play, he drops that leg quick, so he's already in a defensive position because
out. That was an easy out.
His whole body is in control because everything is so quiet. I just love it.
All I'm hearing right there, Fitz, is throw $20 on him to win a Golden Glove because the odds are going to be long. And it looks like this dude is ready to field that damn position.
Yeah, he's there when he needs to be. Like, I love that. And he drops that leg. I love that.
And in terms of like the fly ball pitchers and giving up home runs, I mean, obviously that is a concern. The fastball does tend to go low, and obviously with the launch angle, you want that fastball low, swing up. You hit a lot of home runs. So, I mean, that he's going to give up home runs with the Cubs. Like, there's no doubt about that. He's going to give up his fair share.
Think so.
But as Kevin said, he said it like half jokingly, but like he's right. You can live with home runs as long as there aren't guys on base. And if this guy can keep up his pinpoint command that he's shown in Japan, you'll take the occasional couple of solo home runs. Hey, that's fine. You win 5-2. Like that's fine.
I think
that's going to be a big key for him to still have that command with the Cubs.
Fergie Jenkins made a living out of giving up solo home runs. Up until I don't know when recently, he was the single season home run allowed in Cubs history. And so
Lance Lynn didn't break it yet.
So it's like, so for him, it's like, he always said, hey, if I'm going to give up
some grand slams,
it'll be a solo homer. And again, like you said, someone walks into one, whoopsie daisy, fucking turn the page, move on. What's the difference between giving up a double and a single back to back? Pitch conservation, to be honest, because then he resets and gets back to work. So, that's a good thing with him. The strikeout thing, his kind of strikeouts are not like a Jordan Wicks strikeout. Jordan Wicks will go 3-2 on somebody because he's all over the place and dropping balls everywhere. Shota, he will come right at you and he's going to punch you out in 3 or 4 pitches as opposed to going full because his command is so good. He's not going to get himself working deeper into counts. He's going to go after these guys. And I like that too. This guy could be a 7-inning guy, a guy that can get you 7 on a consistent basis because of the pitch conservation aspect as well. And again,
I did notice that too, Baloney.
A good bounce back.
All these fields look like the goddamn Oakland Coliseum.
I was about to say, it's like the Coliseum.
A lot of room in foul territory in those things. Missy, we're all a little upset that Eberflus is still the coach, but you need to fucking suck it up, Buttercup. Fucking relax. Yeah, you guys got any other thoughts? I mean,
going back
talking
to Drew's,
to you two. Go ahead.
I know. Going back to Drew's first comment, like nice signing. The Cubs need another starter. I think I kind of agree. Jesse Rogers also wrote on Wednesday. Actually, never mind. That was confusing. The way he worded it, I didn't realize if he was still talking about Shota or if it was another guy. But I would still want for top of the line.
Hold on, we actually have a legit baseball question in the comments here.
Ooh.
Bradley asks, is there a concern about him going from pitching every 6 days to every 5?
So
I didn't know that. And 2, the bidding war continues with Southside Bum coming in at $11.
Here we go. Who's got 1101? Who's got 1101?
The mustache rides again, baby.
Bradley, this is the kicker right here. The Cubs right now have a 6-man rotation. You have Justin Steele, you have Shota, you have Tyon, you have Wicks, Hendricks, and Assad, and you have a 6-man rotation. I think that's been being kicked around. The Cubs should, go with a 6-man rotation early in the season and slowly pare it back and whittle it down later on to get in the season. But you conserve some of those late inning pushes by letting these guys go through a 5 or a 6-day cycle. But the Cubs have that. Unless they trade those guys away, I mean, other than sending Assad, Hendricks, or Wicks to the bullpen, you're looking at a six starter rotation that I'm sure Craig Counsell is someone that would probably be someone that would be willing to utilize something like that, I guess. So it's not actually super. It actually pairs up pretty well. Maybe that is the plan. I don't know.
I'm not too concerned about
that's becoming way more popular. The 6-man rotation, more
especially early on, especially in cold season, because maybe you get an extra day to bounce back.
I can see them doing it, but in terms of the question of is it a concern? I don't think so. Because you've seen plenty of guys that make the transition. They're not doing it over there just because guys are requesting it. That's just how they do it. That's just how in MLB it transitions to all right, we're gonna have a 5-man rotation. That's just how it is in the MPB. It's just a 6-man or every 6 day for those guys. But I mean, we've seen plenty of guys. Obviously, not everybody is going to respond the same. But I mean, I don't think there's a big worry there.
I'm sorry, I laughed. Joey P in the comments said "bum secrets," and the first thing that popped in my head was I saw that movie on Skinamax.
Delivered a pizza. That's how it starts.
It's on at 11:30 on a Friday.
I have this chart that showcases some of the pitchers that you're probably more familiar with. Obviously,
chart or chart.
A sharded chart. Actually, it's actually weird. It's almost like avant-garde paint on the wall, but with mud. Anyway, so you got Yamamoto, Senga, Ohtani, Maeda, Tanaka, and Darvish. Right? This is the list. Yep. And when you look at their numbers, when they came over the season before they came to the U.S. playing the majors, Senga and Shota are the same age, 29. Maeda was 27. Ohtani obviously was 21. People forget that he was really young when he came over. Tanaka 24 and Darvish 24. So when you look at their last seasons there, Shota actually had a 2.66 ERA, which was the highest amongst all of those. Yamamoto had a 1.16, Senga had a 1.89, Ohtani had a 1.86, Darvish had a 1.44, Tanaka had a 1.27. The K percentage is roughly, he's the second, he's at 29.5%. Ohtani was the only one better at 31.2. So there's that contact miss, right? We're talking about. Walk ratio is by far the lowest of all of those pitchers. So that's a weird wrinkle in there too, is of all those great pitchers, his walk rate is literally 1% lower, I think, than anybody else. And then his home runs per 9, everybody else is sitting at 0.1, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.3, 0.2. His is 1.0.
Yeesh.
So it's literally 0.6.
Here we go.
So those are things to kind of keep an eye on, but we're looking at probably a 13+ win, 3.5+ ERA, maybe a strikeout leader in the game, which is going to be good for the Cubs, who are now going to probably have a number 1, 2 number 3s, and 3 number 5s in their starting rotation. The way I look at it.
Steph is back. He says for $11.05. $11.05, I will bleed the account in all caps.
I mean, who's got 11.06? Who's got 11.06?
11.06, not right here. 11.06.
I will say some people who are down on the signing.
Bomb secrets.
And they're like, oh man, this guy, all the team is backed out. Why didn't he get a bigger deal? And one of the pitchers they brought up is Yusei Kikuchi. And even him, he had a down a couple of years with I think it was Toronto, but I mean he's been solid. But even those two guys, completely different. And Kevin, you keep bringing it up, and it's important. This guy does not walk guys. Shota Imanaga, unless just bad luck strikes him, and all of a sudden he can't find the strike zone. The Cubs are going to have a consistent strike thrower here.
Yep.
Now, obviously, the concern is too many good strikes for hitters. You're going to get Jameson Taillon in June and July, or May and June of last year. But I don't have concerns of him being a disappointment. I think at the very least, he's going to be a very solid pitcher for the Cubs.
3 with upside is the way I look at it, since we don't really know how it's going to respond here with the different baseballs. and obviously the change in weight, which is going to be kind of minimal. It's really the tacky part. I think I worry more, but the dude is going to go out there and he's going to pitch and he's going to. A guy that locates is going to eat innings for you too, and they're going to find an approach, which is obviously one thing the Cubs have going for him too, and that Shota has for him is the league doesn't know anything about him either. So he's going to have like a month and a half where he's kind of like everyone else is flying blind against him because they really don't know this version of him at all, and so that he could come out pretty hot. And then there's that adjustment period somewhere, in June and maybe July where people, they've got enough tape now where they can kind of break down a little bit more, and then he adjusts. And I think this guy is stuck around for as long as he has because he adjusts where he's at. So I don't see that stopping. He's a mature 30-year-old dude.
And he's going to have MLB coaches with him for the first time. Right. And again, not that it's better or worse, whatever, but it's different. But, things become much more focused on, you only have 2 good pitches. All right, fine. Fucking you throw those 70% of the time. And I think that's going to be the focus with the Cubs.
Yeah. I just can't believe someone's actually like complaining about it. Like that to me is someone complaining just to complain. That's a
I mean, I don't know if it's in terms of the contract, but I think it's just the pitcher himself. I think it's the pitcher profile I've seen. Because again, this is also another interesting one because it's not like, I mean, Yamamoto, everybody was basically on board like, hey, this guy is like ace type material. He's 25. You spend the big money on this guy. For Imanaga, I'm not going to say it's like 50-50, but it feels like 60-40 positive. But there's a lot of stuff out there. It's like, oh, this guy's only a 1-pitch pitcher. His stuff isn't going to play in MLB.
Oh, wait. We got a brother bidding war. We got a brother bidding war now.
Oh, we
got a brother bidding war. Mike Burnett comes in. Try me. I'm here at $9.99.
Let's go.
Oh, smokes. I'm feeling the love, though, fellas. Feeling the love here. This is actually kind of getting wild. But I guess to kind of put a bow on the signing there, though, I think we all agree low risk, high reward for probably a third starter. Yeah,
they basically replaced Marcus Stroman and like paid a guy like $7-8 million less. Yep. So now, but I will say this:
Stroman's WAR, his projected WAR too.
But it's like around like 2.5, right?
Yep,
like 2.5, 2.6. Mm-hmm. But now, so you saved those $8 million. Go fucking spend it. Keep going, Jed. I'm glad you woke up.
Good.
I'm glad you
Cody.
Keep going.
What kind of name is Cody? Sorry.
Actually, that's a good segue, though. John Heyman also saying that the Cubs are probably going to get 2 out of the 3. Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman.
Rhys
what was the third one?
Rhys
Hoskins. I still don't know why Pete Alonso just evaporated. That was like the big rumor right when the offseason started. But out of those three,
there's still times though.
Yeah, out of those 3 though, pick 2.
If it was up to me, well, it depends. Well, okay,
Cody Bellinger.
It's Cody Bellinger.
Who else do you want with Cody Bellinger? I should say.
Rhys. If you look at Rhys Hoskins' number, I know he's coming off the ACL, but this dude's a legit power hitter. This guy's like 30 home runs guaranteed.
Piss missiles, dude.
Yes,
Piss missiles.
I know the defense is bad, but hey, that's why the DH exists. So, give me Cody Bellinger, Rhys Hoskins.
I'm.
Oh my God!
Jumper
over the top.
Whoa!
Yep, we're coming in hot.
Lil Zoe training money. Fucking Mitch.
Well, you've got
kick rocks, Mitch.
Who's got 1501? Who's got 1501?
You look at I love Chapman. I love his defense. I think he could be a fun Cub to have. But I think, and I think it really does. How sold are the Cubs on Matt Mervis? That obviously, how sold are they on any other righty coming up in their system right now? That Hoskins is a good, acceptable righty to play. So throw over there as like a platoon guy. Obviously he provides one benefit over there, but there's other ways if they get. I don't know. I think I like Chapman. I think I like Chapman more than Hoskins, just because I think the defense. And I'm tired of fucking Patrick Wisdom. And no offense to Nick Madrigal, I'd rather just it be an established third baseman and not worry about it. Because
By the way, Zoe,
I've never had a third baseman. They're like the
if you want
quarterback.
to get really annoying with Nick Madrigal trade talks, bring him up to the Seattle Mariners because their GM
Why are
keeps
they
saying
mad?
how they want a contact hitter, like infielder, and
Hold
Cubs
on.
fans are quick
Stay
on
with
it.
me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Nick Madrigal, short guy, Seattle, Emerald City.
Mm.
We represent the Lollipop Kings. Wizard of Oz. Madrigal goes there, hits 300.
Hey, that's what Jed Hoyer needs to be on the phone with Jared DePoto saying.
I am the leprechaun.
Yeah, it's coming.
You failed us. So you failed us.
I'm pretty sure that I just sold.
A flashlight
It's
on
so
the
bright. Oh, it's so bright. And then,
Well, you're gonna have to keep that sales pitch going because our guy Lyle wasn't in on Nick Madrigal when he joined us a couple of months ago.
Oh, I know. Well, Lyle actually watches baseball, so. But I don't know. I feel like Seattle likes those guys at second base. They like the little contact guy playing. I feel like Seattle's always had that guy. Like they had Frazier, that didn't really work out.
They need to have something though, because like they're kind of like at a plateau where like they haven't taken that next step. I don't know. I mean, not that Nick Madrigal is that next step, but they want to mix something up there. So who would you take for the Cubs? Two out of those: Cody Bellinger, and then who?
I'm taking Bellinger. I've told you guys though from the start of this offseason, everybody has those guys that you don't really know why, but you're just a fan of that guy. And I know for me, a lot of it is I absolutely rake with this dude on MLB The Show. But I am a big Chapman fan.
Okay.
At third. Dude, anytime they put out a new Chapman card, if he was player of the month this season, so he had a 99 Lightning card, and then he had all this. I go out of my way to go get that shit because it's something about his swing in that game. I just hit fucking nukes with it. But to me, it's a little bit more of a sure thing. Now, Rhys Hoskins is good. I'm not taking away, again, piss missiles, but the defense is a little shaky, and the injury part is a little concerning. I guess it would depend on the price tag, but Chapman's going to be a little bit more expensive, but he's better. He's pretty good defensively. I know he had a bit of a down year, but also he can hit.
Weird year.
He had a weird year. Because like I said, he won a player of the month card, which means you got to be the best.
No,
he
was on fire for like the first 6 to 8 weeks, and then he just fell off.
To me, if the Cubs can get Chapman and Bellinger, they're cooking. I just like Chapman, and I feel like the Cubs have been trying to get a third baseman for a while since Chris left.
It's KB, yeah.
And the main reason
because I don't want. I'm just Patrick Wisdom is fine, but I just
can the Rockies just trade KB to the Cubs like for free? Well, no, is he playing first base now?
Yeah, he's playing first.
There you go. There's the Cubs you first base.
Oh, that'd be dope.
The main reason I would prefer Hoskins over Chapman is just the Cubs need a power bat, and Chapman, I know, like great. He's even in a down season, he was still a pretty good defensive third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
Rhys Hoskins to me is just more of the guarantee power guy, even coming off the injury. Chapman, I don't know, man. Some of those numbers are scary, and again, like you talked about, the commitment's going to be longer. Rhys Hoskins only going to get 1-2 years, maybe. Like he's going to get a Cody Bellinger like deal from last year.
Hold on, what Chapman had an unbelievable month last year.
No, he was on fire, dude.
Yeah, I gotta find out the stats that month. Hold on.
I think like through May, I think he was still good, maybe through the middle of May. I forget.
Yeah. But he sure is up your third base, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Oh no,
Chapman is 32.
Cubs don't ask a good question. What happens if
Christopher?
This is a good
Cody Bellinger, and let's say like, hey, PCA is crazy. He made all of this work in the offseason. He shows up to spring training, and he wins that job in center field. That means Cody Bellinger moves to first base. The Cubs have a hell of a defense, let me tell you. Chapman, Swanson, Horner, Bellinger. Yeah. And then the catchers. Gomes is aging, but Amaya coming up. So, PCA in center, covering everything. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a very good defense. And
Chapman,
you asked what happens with Morrell. Well, let's be honest. Based on the reviews that are coming back from the winter stuff, I don't think we want him playing third base every day at this point because
with Morrell, that's the other thing. Because like
be a DH.
he could DH. You can put him in a trade, get another legit pitcher. But I want him to earn the job, but I just don't know. I don't know if the defense is going to get there. I hope it does, because that would be ideal. Because the way he hits,
Chapman came out of the gates hot. His April, May, he had 100 at bats. He had 38 hits, 15 doubles, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. He actually stole the base. Okay, 14 walks, only struck out 26 times. His batting average, his slash line was 384, 465, 687 with an OPS of 1.152. He obviously cooled off from that. He only hit over 200 in July. Every other month was 200 or below. He finished the season as a 4.4 B-WAR guy with 17 home runs, and he hit 5 of those in the first 2 months, month of the season.
That feels like wisdom.
Yeah, 240 batting average, and then 331 OBP, 424 slugging, 755 OPS, 108, shout out, OPS plus.
Okay, read his April again.
His April.
Just read his slash line and his RC plus if you can.
I don't have the WRC plus, but his slash line was 384, 465, 687.
Okay.
With a OPS of 1.152.
I'm looking out, by the way, because he doesn't go 0 for long periods of time. He peppers in a hit. Even he'll go 1 for 5. He doesn't just go disappear for like 6 days. So I'll stand back.
This is Matt Chapman from May 1 until the end of the season. 467 plate appearances. His slash line was a 205 batting average, a 298 on base percentage, a 361 slug. And again, for people who don't love all the new stats or whatever, a WRC plus of 100 is a league average hitter. His was 84 for the last 5 months of the season. He was bad, guys.
Not great. Not great.
This is why I said he had a weird season. He was like one of the top hard hit leaders. His barrel percentage was high. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't make any sense. Where the hell did all those hard hit balls? Did he just have the most unlucky season ever? Like what the hell happened?
What was his stat that all White Sox fans love? What was his BAPIP?
Let's see the BAPIP. Ball.
I just like saying it. Also, while you're looking that up, I like to sprinkle in he was a Gold Glove third baseman too.
That's the thing. Everyone oh man, he had a down season.
You can't question the glove.
He had a 276 BAPIP. And his overall in his career, his BAPIP has been 295. So that does indicate there was some bad luck there, but it wasn't crazy.
Yeah, it's still not great.
Actually, no. Actually, wait. that was his BAPIP during his cold stretch. Overall, his BAPIP was 319. His career is 295.
Okay.
So it was actually
better. Everybody's favorite uncle. No, not Uncle Tickles. Uncle Beefloaf says, in Joe Sheehan's newsletter, talked about how the ballpark dimensions hurt him some with that, Aldo, in Toronto. I'm guessing that's referring to the fielding. Is that what he's talking about?
No, he's talking about the hitting.
The hitting. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because that's the thing, Matt Chapman, he had his barrel percentage. I think it was either the highest of his career or the second highest. His hard hit percentage was up in the league.
Thing to say.
You could also say 2023 was a down year.
Yes, exactly.
27.
I don't think he would be that bad because at least Matt Chapman can still be a solid defender. Eric Hosmer was cooked.
I think Eric Hosmer's that's a brutal comparison.
That's rough. No, that was brutal, but
all right, so let's go back to the topic at hand, though.
It would be a similar story because Eric Hosmer had a hot 6 weeks, and then the Cubs signed him, and then he was back.
You go ahead and you get yourself a this all kind of depends too on. So let's say they get Chapman and Hoskins. Sorry, not Hopkins. Hoskins. Is that a? Do you guys think that's a loss if they miss out on Bellinger and it's Chapman and Hoskins?
I would
think it's a
feel
loss
similar
without
to
it.
last offseason, where the Cubs got better. They got better players, but they could have gotten even better players.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to complain that, hey, if you're getting Matt Chapman, that's a commitment. You're like spending 4 or 5 years, $100 million on a guy who's
I didn't
30,
realize.
31. Like, that's a risk. Hey, you're rolling the dice on that. You're willing to spend that. Hoskins, another guy. As much as I like him, he is coming off ACL. But again, I think that's still a safer bet because it's only going to be a 1-2 year deal, maybe 3 years at the most for Hoskins. The Cubs need star
I didn't
power.
realize Hoskins
The
was
Cubs
30
need star
already.
power. I know Cody Bellinger had all the fucking batted ball data that was terrible, but I saw him carry the Cubs for like a month and a half.
Yep.
That team was on his back, and that's just something that the Cubs don't have outside of him.
Yep. And I go a step further. It's a loss. It's a bad offseason if Bellinger's not coming back at this point for me. Because you're not only replacing his bat, but you're also taking a playoff team, a non-playoff team with his bat, and now you're going to have to make that up plus whatever breaks that divide. So and besides that, it's Cody Bellinger, man.
I mean,
Can't let him
I
go.
get it.
It's just he's too much of a guy that honestly this fan base needs because of what he brings as like just a personality too. And he doesn't even say a shit ton. He just like the way he is, his body language. He's fun to watch. And so
smiles, he looks at,
he's a blast, and he's great at what he does. And so it's just it would be very disappointing because you're again Pete Crow Armstrong, a young left-handed, talented defensive, supremely gifted ball player, could learn from a world champion how to be a pro. And I think that there's more to it with Cody Bellinger than just his bat and his defense, but it's also what he brings as a mentor and as a locker room guy, because he's a chill dude and he brings a lot more levity to intense situations. He's a great teammate. He always, anyone that plays with him freaking loves him. He's just that kind of guy. He's a guy that is a positive. He's positive away from the ball too.
Wait, I got it.
Although,
wait. All right. I got it.
Ready?
You put him on, I'll get it. All right. You ready?
Kick rocks. Mitch.
Oh, Mitch, come back.
Oh, we're sorry.
Oh, Mitch, come back.
Sorry.
Come back.
There he is.
That
Kick rocks. Mitch. Kick rocks. Mitch.
the finest addition to this show I think I've made, and I had nothing to do with it.
Mitch, I swear to God, I was just very innocently scrolling through TikTok, and this guy came out. I'm like, oh, this dude looks funny. I'll give him the 60 seconds to watch the video. And then he just drops it at the very end. And I was like, wait, what the fuck did he just say? It's like, hold on.
It caught me
go
off
back
guard
and watch
too,
that.
because like I was watching the beginning of it after like reading your tag. I saw you tag me, and I'm like watching it, and I'm like, what? Like I don't like try and explain. And then the end caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit, kick right. That was funny.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. So we're talking about. We broke down the Cubs' newest pitcher, Mitch, and then we're talking about a successful rest of the offseason. And pretty much the consensus from the comment section from Fids is that if they don't get Bellinger, it's a big old L. Even if they get like a Chapman and a Hoskins, it's still an L. And
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
right before you came on, I just wanted to throw in there. Fangraphs has the projection for Hoskins for 2024. Again, I know, fuck projections, but still, this is just interesting to me. 29 home runs, 242, 332, 461 with a WRC plus of 116 and a 2 WAR. I mean, that doesn't sound terrible to me.
I'll take that.
Okay.
So, go on to Rhys Hoskins Fangraphs. Like year in, year out. Yes, I know the defense is shaky.
A WRC plus never gets lower than 112.
Yeah, I mean he's consistent. And power. Yeah. That's the big thing. You need power. You need home runs. Like you need that big slugger in the middle of the lineup.
And Shaw's on the way at third, by the way, too. We keep forgetting that too.
Yeah,
he's a big power bat too. So
yeah,
maybe I'm flipping over to Hoskins. I changed my mind.
It's just I think it's more of a again, nothing is a guarantee, but it's for me it's more of a sure bet of who's going to pay off offensively. Matt Chapman on a rebound, or Rhys Hoskins, who's been consistently good throughout his entire career.
And Rhys Hoskins,
there's way too many
freaking boy. 6'4", 245. That boy drank his milk when he was a kid. Holy shit, that's a big fucking boy. But well, now that Mitch is here, we'll pivot a little bit. There's two White Sox stories of note that came out since the last show. One isn't really that big of a deal. I think people are just making it a big deal because they hear a certain name and all of a sudden it's the fucking boogeyman, and you got to stop doing this, folks. But Luis Robert, all-star, all-world, whatever, center fielder for the White Sox, has signed Scott Boras as his agent. And I saw some people freaking out about it. People are already like, oh, goodbye, blah, 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 blah. Scott Boras isn't the fucking boogeyman guy. Like, Luis Robert was going to get paid anyways. His contract status doesn't change. Nothing changes.
No. The biggest thing about that is like Luis Robert, he's signed for another like 3 to 4 years. He's fine.
Nothing changed. It doesn't change.
Nothing changed. Like you weren't gonna re-sign Luis Robert Jr. anyway.
No.
This means is that Luis Robert Jr. is just gonna have a bigger payday. This is all that means.
I hate saying this because I don't want to wish
White Sox anyway.
I don't want to wish ill against anybody because I think it's bad karma. But if Jerry still owns this team in 3 to 4 years, Luis Robert's not coming back.
Yeah. Oh, and that was always the issue, not boogeyman.
Not who his agency is.
People are upset about that. Just shows how the White Sox operate. They're conditioned, like, oh, this guy's going to get paid. It looks like we're not getting him.
Right.
That's terrible.
It's a horrible perspective. And the thing is, you should be happy to know that Luis Robert's best interests are now in the hands of the best in the business. The best. So he's going to be taken care of with an entirely different professional support system than he's ever had in his entire career. People that are literally living and breathing his best interests 24 hours a day.
Mitch, were you just driving over a wake-up strip?
No,
those bumpy things like
no, the road's really shit. That was actually a snowplow that just went by. I'm outside a bacon processing plant in Moberly because the animal fat that they're dumping out through their pipes is going into this like waste lagoon and it's stinking up the city. So they've gotten like 2 odor complaints from the Department of Natural Resources, which I didn't even know was a thing. But fun fact, they do it under like Missouri standards. Like you get an odor complaint, they have like a standard. You have to use this like instrument called a nasal ranger, and that's how they determine if your city has an odor violation.
I saw a nasal ranger open up for that's
the Riviera.
Look, if you get the chance, Google a nasal ranger. It's funny as hell. It's like this big telescope that they put up to their nose. And like it looks ridiculous, but I guess it dilutes the air, and if like you can still smell it through it, then
I'm looking this shit
I
up.
just have a picture of a guy on a horse.
By the way, again, I don't get why White Sox fans would be
serious?
that Luis Robert Jr. got Scott Boras as agent.
I'm joking. Yeah,
Does it look like the skull horn? Is it?
No, I'll get it. But I'll get it up here. Just you guys keep talking. I'll get the nasal ranger up.
I have to make sure Luis Robert Jr. is signed through 2027.
It doesn't
fine.
change anything.
Fine.
People just get scared when they see big bad Scott Boras is now representing their favorite player. Who gives a shit? Green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a shit?
Well, I think it's the same reason all these Sox fans are like, well, like we got to trade Cease, got to trade because Boras is his agent too, and everyone thinks he's going to get paid, and they're not going to re-sign him either. I mean, I would argue. I mean, for my thing with like Cease, like I wouldn't just trade him to trade him. Like I'm happy the way he's like playing those negotiations, and I would actually be fine if they made an effort to extend him. But we all know they won't because he's got Boras as his agent. They're not going to want to pay. It's just how it works. Same thing with Robert. Yep, there you go.
Is that the nasal ranger?
That's the nasal ranger.
Wait, why did they just use that? Why did they just use that mask that they used in Jackass? Remember when they hooked it up to the guy?
Because it's not in the Missouri air regulations code.
So some dude just strolled up to a bacon plant, threw this on the face, and was like, "Yep, they'll smell bacon."
No, so interestingly enough, this basin, it's like really on the opposite side of town from this bacon plant. And it's been smelling like shit for a while. And like all these people were complaining. And so, like City was like, yeah, it's this bacon.
How much?
Like a sleep apnea device.
What is the yearly salary on being the
sleeping.
official shit sniffer?
To go.
You get enough calls, you show up, and then you got to then you start smelling. I don't know. Probably not enough though. Is my guess.
I'm googling how much
Nasal Ranger used to be called the French.
How much does a Nasal Ranger get?
Yeah, that thing is. Well, you won't snore at night.
So that was that, and then the Nasal Ranger, a hobbyist weed farm's worst enemy. This is how they narc out weed farms? Apparently, that's all they keep talking about.
Ooh, I'm against Ranger.
Dragging at the jukebox, bro.
Yeah, Nasal Ranger sniffs out marijuana plants in Michigan. All of these Nasal Ranger stories are all about them just basically busting weed farms.
Well, here it's because their sewage waste basin is too stinky for the neighbors, and they're complaining. So
it doesn't say how much they make.
Oh, yeah, not enough.
No. Well, not if they're narcs, dude. They're just going around some dudes. But anyways, looks like an Alabama fan.
That's funny.
What's I going to say? Oh, the other news, though, is it came out that
flashing lights,
according to a couple different sources, that the Yankees updated their wish list to Dylan Cease, Blake Snell, and Jordan Montgomery. Shocker. But the biggest things that were holding up the Yankees with Dylan Cease was they were hesitant to trade Spencer Jones as part of the trade package. And two, the White Sox still believe they can get a better trade package from Baltimore, hopefully. So the names that are being thrown out there from, I'm reading this off of Sox on 35th, but apparently Jason Dominguez, who we've all talked about on this show, is completely off the table. The Yankees basically said that's a non-starter. Don't even ask. It's not happening. So they're offering up Spencer Jones, who is an outfielder, and then Chase Hampton, who is a pitcher in the minors that has been shooting up the Yankees system. Double-A, he was 2.2 with a 4.37 ERA, striking out 27.4% of hitters and only walking 8%. He still has room to grow, but clearly has a lot of upside. I guess the big prize here would be Spencer Jones. 117 games in A+ and AA ball. 267, 336, 444, 16 homers, 43 stolen bases, 29 doubles. So apparently a lot of people think he's going to be a 30-30 type guy in the outfield.
Spencer Jones
well,
is, according to
our old friend Bob Nightingale.
Yep. Go ahead.
What our old friend Bob Nightingale was reporting this weekend, that he's looking for 2 top 100 prospects, or 2 premier prospects, they said, and then 2 others on top of the 2 top 100. Or premier prospects.
That makes sense. I think those are just the 2 premier ones that would be coming from New York.
Yeah.
I think there'd probably be some and change put in there. But
if those 2 guys were the headliners, is that a yes? You guys want that? Do you guys take that?
Since day one, and I'm still holding out to this until a trade happens, I want them to trade with Baltimore.
I don't really care with Baltimore as long as we get a good return. If he gets the asking price he's looking for, then I don't care who it's with.
I think
obviously Baltimore would be ideal, number 1 farm system.
Yeah, we've talked this almost into the ground about what Baltimore can offer. The only thing that I'm hoping that comes out with this news is Baltimore sees it and ups their offer.
I just don't want them, which I don't think he is. Like I alluded to, I just don't want them to trade him for the sake of trading him. I would not be upset if they don't get the price they want, if they held on to him opening day. Because they can afford to be patient. And one of these teams is going to get desperate, especially midway through like the season. You think you have a good team, you think you're a pitcher away, you're going to be more willing to.
And he's still pitching for money. He's pitching for a contract still. So he's going to perform. He's not going to underperform just 'cause he's stuck. He's going to go out and perform because it's good for him in the future too. So you're going to get the best of what he got. And at the deadline, maybe the value even increases. Maybe he's
I'm starting to lean towards the White Sox waiting until July.
Yeah, same. I'm getting more towards it, but if they're not, just please do it soon. I'm so sick of talking about this shit.
But also not.
Justin
I
Fields.
know. It's just,
Well, selfishly too, I don't know if I can watch fucking Cruelly pitch every fifth day or whoever these other hacks they just signed. Like, I need Dylan.
Easy about
We
Show some respect for
Fetty
your Korean
made-
MVP, Eric Fetty.
we'll see. Unfortunately, I saw him pitch in the MLB before he went over to the KBO.
but
so,
you got
again,
things changed, Mitch, and I got a little spoiler for you. It's going to be brutal, even with C's. The season's going to suck balls, dude.
no, I mean, but at least it'll be like you feel like you have a fighting chance once every fifth day. That's how it was with Chris Sale back in the day. Like they were always terrible, but when Sale was
Yeah.
pitching, it's like okay, we have a shot to win this game.
That's fair. I still can't
Ooh,
believe
are
he
you
went to
going to
fucking
sign a right
Atlanta.
fielder? I think I saw that.
Oh yeah, that's the other. He said, it's a funny quote because he's like, "Well, we have internal options, but you never know." Actually, yeah, I want to upgrade right field. It was like, okay, well, that escalated.
He was
That
just
escalated
mentally
kinda
going to
quickly,
the
yeah.
depth chart, and he's like,
Yeah.
wait, shit, yes. I
Yeah,
still need a
right.
right fielder
Wait,
who
fuck,
can
it's
hit
still
like
Oscar
200.
Colas. Yeah, he's like Oscar Colas. Shit. Okay, yeah, we're still going to improve right field. To me, that's Jorge Soler still.
I
think
mean,
that's
we
probably
talked about
Oscar
Rhys Hoskins and his bad defense. You don't want Soler playing a lot of right field.
I don't give a shit. Aldo. I just want home runs.
No,
I
he
just
would
want to
be
be
a better. He
entertained.
would be a better DH.
Yeah, but it's a 1 year. I mean, at this point, just get a.
No, he's not getting 1 year. What are you talking about, dude?
Well, they're not
Jorge
going to pay
Soler's
him for
waiting
like
to
a.
cash in.
Yeah, well, that's why he's still waiting.
Well, yeah. No, he's going to get
Yeah.
He's not going to catch in. There's too many injuries. He was too inconsistent. There's too many injuries for him to get and I think that's why he's still a free agent. I don't think he's going to cash in what he thinks he's going to get.
Apparently, Miami didn't even
multi-year
call him. Did you see that?
What's up?
Miami
did not see
fucking
that.
put him to voicemail.
Oh, they don't know what the hell.
Miami was
That
just
guy
like,
came in
nah.
to,
They're just like, nah, son. But I don't know. I don't think the White Sox will pay a Soler because they have Eloy, who's like Soler light. So I just thought
Except he
it'd be
doesn't
more
get
fun. I just think it'd be
Yeah,
more
he
fun to
doesn't
watch
get
Soler.
I agree. I'm
Yeah.
all for Soler. That's my opinion. We were going to be
You guys
bad
don't want
anyway. I'd
Josh
rather watch
Anderson?
bad defense than Gavin Sheets' bad defense.
Yeah, I mean, you guys keep saying Soler's bad in right field. Like I didn't just watch Gavin Sheets play a whole season in right field.
That's why you got Phelps.
Because at least Soler will hit some
Or
home runs with it too. Gavin Sheets won't.
Or the Smiley guy from the fucking Rays,
Yeah, what's his name? Damn.
Phillips.
Phillips. Right.
Yeah, he can play defense. Let him run around there. He looks like a Labrador Retriever out there, just all smiling, running around and shit. Let him go.
He
That was a
does
good
look like
time.
defense.
No, he's a Labrador. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the point of the offseason where MLB Network is putting out their horrible top 10 list for each position.
Oh.
So tonight kicked it off with catchers.
Oh.
Where's Yasmani Grandal?
I'll go top. I'll go bottom to top.
It's like the Oscars.
Number 10, Gabriel Moreno from the Diamondbacks. Number 9, Kyle Raleigh from the Mariners. Number 8, Yanner Diaz from the Astros. Number 7, Alejandro Kirk. Number 7, huh? Okay. Number 6, Wilson Contreras. Number 5, William Contreras.
Oh.
Number 4, JT Realmuto. Number 3, Sean Murphy. Number 2, Will Smith. And number 1, Adley Rutschman.
Martin
Okay.
Maldonado got screwed.
He's a defensive stud.
Jonah Heim from Texas. He's pretty good. I think I got him on there definitely over Alejandro Kirk. I don't know why the fuck Alejandro Kirk's on here.
Yeah, that was surprising. Yeah.
4 newcomers to the top 10 list, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Jonah was the starter on the All-Star or starter on the champion, made the All-Star game, won the Gold Glove, and didn't make the top 10. God, these lists are so bad. I love how bad they are. We kind of talked about it. I did it on my.
Fucks like us will talk about them.
Well, exactly.
What they want.
I was going to say, me and Beef talked about it on the Zoo earlier this week. we're doing exactly what they want us to do.
By the way, I've never proposed doing a draft. All right, throwing me under the bus. I've never once pitched a draft idea. Just
Yeah,
saying.
but you came at my kids, so I'm going to throw you under the bus on every show I do for the
Well,
rest
that
of
is
the
fair.
year.
Yeah.
Do you guys want
Indirectly, to be
some?
fair,
Do you guys want some names for the top
just fucking
free
around, bitch.
agent right fielders remaining?
No, because
for
they're
the
all
Red Sox?
bad. They're all
Do you
bad.
guys want Randall Grichuk? He had a solid season, Colorado, and then the Angels, I think. Right? Will Myers,
How old is
bring
he
back Tyler Naquin, Kevin Pillar, Cole Calhoun. That's it.
Ugh. Cole Calhoun sounds like a White Sox. That sounds like
does.
that would
It
be
really
a Rick
does.
signing. That would be like a contending. Yeah, we got a Cole Calhoun.
By the way, Jorge Soler is just flat out listed as a DH.
Yeah, they're not even fucking with it anymore.
Oh, bring back Billy Hamilton.
Oh, don't start
There
that
we
shit.
go.
Adam
Guys.
Engel. How about Kyle Lewis? Adam Duvall. Actually, Adam Duvall would be is he not signed yet? Adam Duvall would be a solid.
I'm pretty sure that is someone that the 108 has been beating the drum for.
Adam
all
Duvall, I think, would be
offseason.
a solid signing for the White Sox.
He was on fire for the Red Sox, and then he got hurt.
Yeah. But he still had a great season, 834 OPS. Not great season, but a good season. 834 OPS, hit 24 home runs, 92 games. Ooh.
That'll
No,
play.
he was playing really well for the Red Sox, and then he remembered how old he was.
Adam Duvall, right fielder. Get him.
No thanks. I don't even know what they're gonna do. To be honest with you, I don't even really care at this point.
I feel like it's gonna make a difference. I'm with you. It's like
Man, a year ago, we had the White Sox win the AL Central. This is sad.
The only way this season is like salvageable is if it turns into a fucking 30 for 30 or a Disney movie.
No, they either need to be surprisingly good or really bad. Because if they're just like a boring 71 win team, like who cares? I want them to have like
and Chris Flexen was the signing they needed.
like I don't even know who, like Andrew Vaughn like strangling someone in the clubhouse like in April, or I don't know. Like give me the crazy Sox shit again. Give me like a boycott in spring training because I don't know, somebody give me another Adam LaRoche.
What if I told you Eric Fetty was the missing piece?
No, it's Chucky Robinson. Remember?
Oh yeah, forgot about Chucky,
Robinson.
dude. Yeah,
Chucky and Chris Flexen, the dynamic
I think we
battery
brought up
that's
Chucky
gonna take the
Robinson
White Sox to the top of the
like
division.
2 hours and 15 minutes in. I made him the title of the episode.
that could be Chucky Robinson. Someone needs to fight Jose Ramirez once a month.
That'll keep it
Actually,
going.
I
Hey,
love
let me
that.
tell you, there's not many other White Sox Cubs podcasts that are talking about Chucky Robinson.
No one's got the scoop. On
This
Chucky
is
Robinson like we do.
this is the official podcast for Chucky Robinson.
Yeah, this is
I'm not kidding. We
That's
could
my
probably
new
get him
Sebi.
on the show.
Chucky's going to be my new Sebi. That's going to be the
Yep.
guy I latch on to. For
I
no
don't think it'd
explicable reason.
be extremely difficult to get Chucky Robinson on this show.
Chucky.
I don't either.
Just got to reach out, take initiative. Someone.
Unlike Seb, Seb didn't want to come on. He fucking big timed us.
Yeah, he did. People forget.
Man hits
People
3
forget
home
Seb big
runs.
time us.
Good for pinwheels.
that was painful.
Yep, we were all about Seb, and then he big timed us.
Hurt.
Stood up for him.
I was going to buy
when
Mhm.
what's his name? O'Neal was going after him.
Yep. Yeah, Chucky Robinson.
Banging the drum for him to still be the backup when he had a 400 OPS.
Is Sebi unemployed?
No,
No, he got traded. Remember? See, remember
Oh,
the
that's
the
right.
trade broke in one of our
He's in-
live streams.
He's in Emerald City.
Yeah.
Chucky is from Danville. Let's go, Chucky.
Whoa. All right.
What?
Chucky Robinson.
Out of the big
Whoa.
free agents, all right, now that Shota has signed, his deadline's over with, the pitchers should get signed now. Who's the next big free agent to sign?
Snell, Montgomery, I think, are the two big ones.
Yeah,
Those are the next
I
two
agree.
dominoes to
But
fall.
who signs first?
Snell to the
Snell.
Yankees.
Yankees.
Yeah, the
Who
Yankees.
goes to the Giants?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say, who goes to the Giants? The Giants are gonna spend.
Yeah.
Like who?
They'll get.
They're kind of right.
Montgomery.
I
They'll
think they
overpay
get Matt
Montgomery
Chapman.
like they did for Carlos Rodon.
You know,
I can
hope
see him
they
getting
don't
Chapman
get-
too.
I hope they don't get Cody Bellinger.
I hope they get Matt Chapman, and
Matt.
he has very mediocre seasons for them.
Yeah, my heart goes out to Giants fans. seem
Why?
like
They won
people-
3 titles in 6 years. What are you talking about? Fuck Giants fans.
In the last
No.
15 years. Oh, shit.
Dude, it has to be brutal though. Every offseason you're tied to like the biggest free agents, and then you just get no one. And now people are just shitting.
Better
on
than
you.
Scott Boras is for Luis Roberts' agent. Looks like
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
re-signing
I was
him.
gonna say
I'd
that's better than like, oh man, Andrew Benintendi has the highest contract in our franchise history, $75 million.
No, hey, I'm not saying I feel worse
Big as
for
a
them
kick
than
in
I
the
do the
nuts,
White Sox fans.
a
It's
heart
not a
of
fucking
avocado.
contest. It's just every fucking offseason. I mean, they got Arson Judge lined up. They got it's just brutal, man. These last couple
Correa.
of years.
Hey,
Correa,
they could have worked. They
Ohtani.
could have reworked Correa's deal. The Twins did it.
That's true. You need to
Didn't
get
they have
the lake.
Didn't they have Soto and didn't the Padres snake him? Or no, who did they have that got snaked? And
Was
another
it Scherzer?
Scherzer.
Santos.
Was it Scherzer maybe? I
Yep.
can't remember.
No, that was the Padres. The
That was
Padres had Scherzer.
That was Padres got Who was it? Oh,
Nobody else. It was just the free agents. They were just used in free agency. That's what the Giants are used for.
They just
Right,
get
they
used
got-
a lot. Mitch, do you got any NASCAR
Oh
talk
yeah, wait.
you want
Tell
to
us
get
your
in?
picks again, Mitch, because we were like out of it last Friday.
I don't even remember Friday's show, to be honest with you. I wasn't even
Damn.
that drunk. I was just like,
Wait,
Space
we need
Cadet.
to make some money on your picks, Mitch.
Mhm.
My Daytona 500 best bet is like, because like speedways are a shit show. Like it's kind of like a wild card. Anyone can win a super speedway. Some guys are better than others, but like even the shitty cars, you have a chance. Manufacturer bet is your best chance to like win money. Ford is the best bet. I feel like they work really
On
well
every
together.
race?
No, just for the Daytona 500. If we're
Okay.
talking like Daytona, because that's the big one most people are gonna watch. Daytona 500, Ford, best manufacturer bet. If you want to get really crazy and bet on a driver, I think Brad Keselowski would be my pick. He's been close a couple times.
Oh,
He's
the
always
dude
good
from
at super
Monsters.
speedway.
David jokes out. Yep,
he always wins here.
said
He
the
always
joke.
wins in Vegas.
I'm literally
He's due
writing
for
this down.
wins.
I'm writing dude from Monsters. That's what I
Wait,
just
don't we
wrote
still have to
down.
do Zoe's live stream of a NASCAR race?
Yep.
Yeah, that's got to come.
We
soon.
do.
That should be the Daytona 500.
I'm
When's
down.
that?
What's the date?
A little playback. February 14th.
Playback
Valentine's Day,
DNP.
perfect.
Oh yeah.
Zoe and
February-
Valentine's Day.
February 18th.
Oh, the
February 18th
Ooh.
is the Daytona 500.
All right, it's a possibility.
in, Sam.
Playback's dead. We can't do playback.
No,
but
just live stream it.
Oh,
we'll be on here
that's
with
right.
you.
Well, this last year,
we'll
yeah,
have
that's
You know what's
we'll
funny?
figure something out.
You know what that is? That's actually February 18th.
Absolutely not, Mike.
That's the day before President's
See,
Day. That's Sunday before a national holiday too, by the way. So
This
it's
was the biggest
national holidays
biggest
off.
news of the week for NASCAR. Joey P said, but I didn't want to bore you with what the chassis is going to
Is
look
this
like.
going to
for the new
affect
short track.
Ford?
It'll affect all the cars, but only
Go ahead,
short
lay it on
tracks.
us.
And road.
Yeah, give us the cliff notes. then.
Oh, so basically, like 2 years ago, they got a whole new car and they wanted to make it like cheaper. So it's like everyone got the same parts and pieces for these cars. They called it like the next gen car. It was supposed to make everything like cheaper. But there was a lot of safety issues with it. And the intermediate tracks, like mile and a half, the racing got a lot better with this new car. But like the short tracks, like Bristol and like Martinsville is a good example. Like all of a sudden sucked. And that's like how they used to come up because like everyone loved watching Bristol because like, you know, they just bang into each other. But now no one can pass with this new car. So they've been like fiddling with the parts they give NASCAR and like what they're allowing them to like use for it to like try and make the racing better. So they just got a new rear wing on it, and then they've changed the rules for road courses. They're going to stage breaks. So there you go. I know you don't care, but that's the Spark Notes version of what happened.
Does that mean more or less accidents?
They're hoping it'll make more, so they'll get closer together.
All
It'll
right,
be
I'm in.
more.
I'm in.
more passing.
Oh,
Because
it
right
was the
now,
Dragons,
in short
not the
track, you
Giants.
can't pass anyone. That's the biggest issue.
All right, I'm in then. I'm definitely in. Drew, yes, playback. I don't know what happened to him, but they lost a lot of basically MLB's like, no. You no show games for free.
Oh,
Fiddling in cars is how Rhys McGuire got arrested.
carjacking.
Oh, don't yank it.
That was a terrible trade for Rick Hahn.
Didn't he play well in Boston?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He wasn't bad. Yeah.
Rhys McGuire turned it
Boston was
around.
But I think Boston was all pissed because they traded what's his face away. They had some veteran catcher they
Christian
traded.
Vasquez.
Yeah, and like everyone was all pissed about that. And then Rhys came in. It's like, I'll show you guys.
And then who would have thought the Tampa Bay Rays fixed Jake Diekman?
Everyone.
Saw that one coming a mile away.
Yeah, everyone. He's anybody that leaves the White Sox. I don't know. I'm still just disheartened that Fitz told us no one's going to sign until February. So, I mean, that doesn't really apply for Japanese players apparently, but I can see a lot of these guys holding out.
Maybe the owners will drop what they need to, and it'll they could always wake up and offer what they're supposed to offer too. So it could still happen. There's just not a lot of enthusiasm there, at least, or optimism. Gotta wait.
Yeah.
The White Sox should sign Chase. They need bullpen help.
That would be cool.
They might.
He's chilling.
I'm dead serious. They might.
He did a new offseason stuff. He did a whole different offseason regiment this year.
That is not out of the realm of possibility, but
do you think Garrett Crochet gets in the rotation? If you had to place your bet right now.
That's good.
Yeah,
that came
the last 2 years, and now they've alluded to it again. Do you think he finally gets in?
They're gonna stretch him out. Okay. The only thing that I thought was interesting about that was if they decide to let him figure out how to be a starter in AAA for a long enough time, they get another year of control.
Oh, they're 100% doing that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's smart.
Yeah, you know what?
That's
okay,
obviously
it's manipulating the system, and we've been through that in Chicago before. But especially with a guy who is coming off an injury, who is in that in between multi-inning reliever, but you want him to be a starter. It's a bad team. You're not going to win anyway. That would be the smart decision.
As soon as
get him healthy, get him at his own pace in AAA. There's no pressure to win in big games, big in quotes, big games at the major league level, and then you get that extra year control.
Donnie, do not put that quarter in, please. Don't. We're not putting this quarter in the machine.
What are your thoughts on?
They're edible.
What are your thoughts on service time manipulation?
So,
but I did a project on that.
As soon as I saw, I think it was Penals that tweeted it out. Like, if he stays in AAA long enough, they get an extra year of control instantly. Like, that's what they're going to do, and that's how they're going to justify it. We're letting them stretch out. We're letting them learn the ropes. We don't feel he can have a .54 ERA after 12 starts in AAA, and they're still going to be like, it's not really checking off all those boxes. We're going to wait exactly 9 more days.
Well, that's the part where, again, they might be doing it for that extra year of control, but it is a guy who is coming off injuries. He ended the year with an injury.
Yep.
Like, he does need to ramp up. He hasn't ever.
No, that I get.
It's less about him. Obviously, I think that it's less about the service time at this point, and just more about getting him right.
Yeah.
Like on the period. So it's an easy to explain. It's a bearable explanation. I think for anybody that understands development and obviously health being paramount, you can sell that. That's a pretty good sell. Even probably the player might get it.
The Sox fans are going to make the jokes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, the Sox fans are going to make the jokes, but the first checkbox is going to be can you pitch multiple times a week? Can you go Monday and then again Saturday? Because
that's why it's weird. it's weird with Crochet because they initially drafted envisioning that like, yeah, he's going to be a starter long term, like that was his goal, but he really hasn't had a chance to develop because he got thrown right into the fire in 2022, right after he got drafted. 2 weeks later, he's throwing triple digits. So then he has to recover from that injury. They throw him back into the fire again, and he's still like is technically a reliever. So he's never had the chance to get those starter innings. And then obviously last year he missed significant time. He really hasn't had a chance to get it developed.
He was a starter at Tennessee, right?
But yes, but like he did he did both, but he did start. Yes, he did a little bit of both.
If you're really digging deep for like a positive thing to look forward to for the White Sox, if he can come out of this season as a legit 3, that's a huge win.
Yep. He's a stud. I do think he's good. He's one of the better arms they have on that pitching staff. Like his 2021 season in particular, I thought was especially impressive. Even like without the velocity he had, he didn't give up a whole lot of home runs. He could pitch and you can put him in the 8th inning in a high leverage situation. He could throw like 3 innings if you needed middle really. I mean, I thought he was excellent. So I'm excited.
I agree.
He's only 24.
Yep. And remember, kids,
he's so like he came up so quick that people like it feels like he's older, but he's 24. He's literally at the precipice of getting to figure it out. That's that age where they figure it out, basically.
Yeah. Going back to his college days, he pitched 36 games and he had 13 starts. So he was mainly a reliever.
Yeah, I do want to point out, can't teach size, kids. Cannot teach size. And he has that frame, boy. Woo! He could be something. And I mean, like you said, Fizz, he's young. If he does sink this year in AAA, that means they'll still have 4 years of control.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can come out of this season as a legit rotation piece, and then they have him for 4 years under that contract still, like, that's a win. That's a positive out of this year. Those are few and far between. So I'll fucking take
if he's that good into that contract, I hope they pay them a little bit more.
Coming full circle. Remember who we're talking about.
This is true.
But
no, this is when he's cheap. This is what the Sox. This is what the Sox specialize.
That's right. It's right on the
pre-arb.
Yeah. So if he comes out of this season as a legit MLB rotation pitcher, the Sox will use him for 2 more years, and then we'll be having the cease conversations, but just put in Crochet.
No, Scott Boras signed him.
Send him early.
My! It's a lot of pearl clutching going on White Sox Twitter when that came out. Oh my stars!
Which again, hilarious because I could have been Luis Robert Jr.'s agent. The White Sox still weren't going to re-sign him.
No, not as long as Jerry's still driving.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad that Scott Boras is his agent because he got screwed on his first deal. If you look at how good he is and what we're paying him, like Sox got a very team-friendly contract in that. That was one of the few early extensions that's worked out.
Yes,
and he's got a support system.
Yeah, and like Fid said, I like to know that probably my favorite player in baseball right now is being taken care of by the best possible representation. I know he's got the deal with Adidas. I don't even know if they're still continuing their baseball campaign, but he's in on that. I mean, he's going to start getting more endorsement deals as his star grows. Good for him. Make that fucking money, kid. He can't come back to this. He's got to cash in now.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's at that peak. It's time.
Yep. That's why I was laughing. Nick Saban retiring is fucking hilarious to me. He's just like, fuck this shit. Everybody can do what I've been doing for years. I'm out. You guys can pay these kids now too? Fuck this. I'm out.
7 natties, though. 7 natties.
Whew. Oh, great. Arguably the greatest college football coach of all time.
Almost 8th. I mean, whoever won that Rose Bowl was going to win the national championship, I think, based on.
I will say we have now entered the free-for-all part of the program. But I will say when I saw the push notification that he retired, I was just like, oh, yeah, he's just pissed that everybody can pay people now.
And on the same day, Pete Carroll's let go, too, which they coached together at Ohio State.
And Belichick is going to leave. Belichick was with Saban on the staff in Cleveland.
The tree leaves from that tree are all falling right now.
Yep. Someone already said, like, what if they all got together and coached the Chargers?
Shit.
No.
Put Belichick as the defensive coordinator.
I did see them be a defensive coordinator. I don't think so.
He doesn't want to do shit. They're all going to retire. None of them are coaching again. But I'm just saying, like, Billy's
Bill
a defensive guy.
Belichick's ego isn't going to be like, yeah, I'll be a
No.
defensive coordinator.
No, but I'm just saying.
On a positive, by the way, while we were on the Bears, it's reported the Bears have requested an interview with Seahawks offensive coordinator Shane Waldron for the OC job.
Honestly, I have no idea if that's good or not.
He made Geno Smith. He made Geno Smith practically a.
He
Yeah,
did. He made Geno. He made
but I'm
Geno
giving
Smith the guy.
that one. I like Sneaky Pete.
He's good with two wide receivers that are Blazers. Get DJ Moore,
Good.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I was gonna say good, then trade the pick. But I don't know. I'm over that shit too. That's probably one of my funniest. One of the things I find funniest on Twitter is when any scheduled press conference happens for any of the major teams, the fallout from it. Like, oh, I can't believe they didn't really say anything of substance. You really thought they were gonna?
Jalen Johnson. They're not going to let him out.
That was the best. That was the only thing that came out of the press conference that I gave a shit about.
That was good.
Like, did they expect him to sit down and be like, "Hey, we're trading the fucking pick. Let's go." Like, no, they're not going to.
They're going to play they're going to do their due diligence. Is what they're going to do. They don't have a decision right now because they're going to take the time to make.
Kick rocks, Mitch.
But that's what they do. That I like the fact that they're deliberate.
Yeah, Mitch.
Nose ranger.
Oh,
Oh,
he said he had to go.
Oh, yeah. But there it is. There it is.
Is that a compass on the end of it?
Yeah, it has like, what is that at the end?
Looks like a filter on the right. That looks like a giant or a fan.
Yeah,
I see numbers now.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. Got to dial this up to 6.4.
This is a stank rate. Oh, that's terrible. Anyway, so are you fine with the keeping Fluss if he goes out and gets like a legit OC? I mean,
I don't have a choice. I mean, yeah, they got to do it. It's just Fluss proved this year that he can make that defense. That was a top defense in the league.
And get him a D line, right?
Yeah, go get him an edge.
Yep.
Get him an edge rusher to put on the other side of Sweat.
That's the key. Jordan Love got hit once last week. Once. That was one sack. That was the only time he got hit all game. Can't happen.
I mean,
front four.
I can't really just go find someone that can work with a mobile quarterback skill set. That's all I ask.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, if the first game of the season next year they throw more than 2 screens, I'm breaking everything in my house. I know the joke's going around, but it is extremely funny to me that Getsy's last play call as a Chicago Bear offensive coordinator was a screen pass on 3rd and 22. It's just too perfect.
I mean,
no more screen passes, no more jet sweeps, please. We're done with both of those.
You got a screen pass.
I mean,
you just got
even if you get rid of Justin Fields, you still need an offensive coordinator that can move with a mobile quarterback because Caleb runs more than Justin, folks. So you watch Caleb Williams highlight tape, and 9 out of 10 throws are on the run.
He throws so well off balance. That ball comes
out.
No,
and that's fine. I'm just saying, like, the point remains, you need an OC with whoever's your quarterback that can deal with a mobile quarterback, unless you decide to go with Caleb May, and I think that would be a huge fucking mistake.
He does have a quick release. I did notice watching a lot of the tape, like and I've watched the regular games, but like when you watch him back to back, his release is quick. He's a quick slinger, which he is a dynamically different type of thrower than Justin Fields, where there's a lot of similarities. I think they're very different in how they play, what they are too. So like that's another part of those two. They're not the same, but they are similar.
I'm not really an Eberflus guy, but I mean, like you said, Zoe, the decision's been made. Like he's coming back. And the crazy part about that is like, really the only viable way, and like this has been thrown out all over the place, and I agree with it, is the only viable way to get like a legit up and comer or like a good offensive coordinator.
Just let him pick his quarterback.
No. You need to let that offensive coordinator know that like the head coach isn't going to be fired next year.
Yeah,
like
keep
so
an extension. Send an extension.
You kind of have to sign Eberflus to an extension. Because
there's a lot of moving pieces.
What offensive coordinator is going to be like, oh fuck, lame duck head coach? Like, am I going to be gone next year too?
Yeah, unless they come in and snake the job because they come in and kick ass. But
that doesn't happen a lot. That doesn't happen.
Usually they move. But this is also an audition for some of these these names too for a head coaching job. A lot of times you see that a guy comes in, has a greght year, first year OC, and then he's gone because he becomes a head coach, like that glamour pick. And I don't know. I mean, either way, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's the development that matters, right? So,
yeah. And I mean, that's why I'm not shocked to see some of these lists out of football people that I actually care about their opinion, seeing some college names on these lists. Because if you don't sign them to that extension and you got to just find a guy that this is okay, I got a shot. I don't care if, whatever. If I can go there, ball out for a year, even if they fire this dude, there's my resume now to get another job.
So, run that go offense UNLV ran this year. Whatever that thing is. That go.
Whatever.
That thing's crazy. It's weird. It's so fast. It's like Kelly's old offense.
A vertical offense, not horizontal and hope. Like, and stop running fucking bunch receivers into the heart of a cover 1D. Oh, God, there's so many bad. It was just terrible.
It just feels, you watch that Packers game, it felt like the receivers were like all wide the fuck open. And it never feels like the Bears have a scheme where their wide receivers
no separation,
wide open. Yeah. So the schemes are never.
Oh, Luke Getsky, fucking that guy, loser. Just
he sucked this year, dude.
OC never worked that second shift.
Yeah. A good coach that adapts, an adaptive coach, someone that's something that I think we've all seen Bears too. The failure to adapt in the second half. You see what LaFleur does. He literally does. He goes out and he changes things.
I think I'm a hard no on the Seattle OC because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Bears offense ranked 20th in the NFL this season. Seattle was 21.
Yeah.
What was it last year?
But you can say he did that. He was doing that with Geno Smith. Like, obviously, you would think that either Justin Fields, if they keep him, or your new rookie quarterback, is going to be better.
Seattle was, going back to last year, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They were 13th last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, anyone's an upgrade at this point. That's why it's funny when people are like, oh, would you be happy if they got good? Yes. Anything is an upgrade.
That's the scary part, though. We always think it gets better. I mean, Luke Getsy was better. No. White Sox fans thought it was going to be better. Well, I mean, we still don't know how that's going to turn out, but you guys got Chris.
Never does. The best thing going on in Chicago sports right now is Kobe White. I was just going to say that. He's the best story in Chicago right now, without a doubt. The kid took a minute to get here, but I mean, he's going to make an all-star game at this point. The kid's just balling out.
How long is Bedard out, by the way?
6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah, it's weeks.
Gonna have to start wearing a face shield.
1 to 2 months, and he's probably going to come back with a bubble. The bubble mask.
Yeah, he should wear that face shield forever.
It just sucks.
Oh, did you guys see that story about the Philadelphia Flyers player who's drafted?
Would you like me to break that down for you? Because, yes, that was insane.
Well, one of the things that I discovered, I'm not really a big NHL guy in terms of like other teams outside of the Blackhawks, but it seems like he grew up as a diehard Penguins fan.
Yes. So the thing there,
and like that's one of the reasons he's like fuck Philly.
So people know what we're talking about. The Flyers took this kid. What's his last name? Gunner.
Gaudier. It's like Gaudier, something like that. Gautier, like the singer, something like that.
Gautier.
No, just some a drafted guy who was like moving up.
Gother. Yeah. Gother. It's Gauthier. His first name's Cutter, so we're gonna stick with Cutter because that's way easier. So Cutter gets drafted by the Flyers. Like I think he was the number 5? Yeah, number 5 pick in the 2022 draft. Gets drafted by the Flyers. Everybody's pumped to get this kid. Sky's the limit with him. And then something that always has been lingering is he gets drafted by the Flyers, and they do the standard "you just got drafted" interview, and they're like, "Oh, who was your favorite player growing up?" And he says Sidney Crosby. It's probably the worst fucking answer you can give if you just got drafted by Philadelphia. Philadelphia hates Sidney Crosby, hates him. So that was always like out there. They kind of covered it up real quickly because they didn't want people talking about it. Like they put out a bunch of different PR about him. And you guys know, like in college, or in hockey, when you get drafted, most of these guys go and play college for a year or two unless you're Connor friggin' Bedard. But so this kid goes and he's playing college hockey and he makes it to Team USA, the juniors, the team that just won the gold medal. And he like led the team in points. Philly got word that he wasn't happy about playing for the Flyers. Bro, they sent their entire front office to Sweden to watch this kid play in the World Juniors and try to hopefully sort this out with him. He is nice, dude. He led the team in points, USA in points and shit. Like the kid's good.
Uh-huh.
But no one knew this was going on. They flew their whole front office out. Meanwhile, Flyers fans are like, fuck yeah, that's our dude. Look at this kid. He's going to be awesome. This is a franchise player, blah, 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 blah. He refused to talk to anyone in the Flyers front office when they came to Sweden.
Oh, fuck.
He iced them bitches. No, he's American. He iced them bitches, though, man. And he kept telling them it was because he needed to focus on the task at hand. But you got 5 minutes for your fucking GM, kid. Like, stop. So basically, he comes back and he just tells the Flyers, yo, fucking trade me. I'm not playing for you. Like, trade me. He pulls like an Eli Manning. He's like, trade me. And they traded him to Anaheim like 2 days ago.
Like,
then,
go ahead.
Hold on. The story gets even crazier because he was not friends with anyone in the Flyers organization except for Kevin Hayes. And some of you guys might remember that name. He had a cup of coffee with the Blackhawks. And so this dude who is like a podcast blogger from a site called Broad Street in Philly goes on the show, and he's got a really big following, and he says like, yeah, I'm hearing rumors that Kevin Hayes is the one that told him like Philly sucks, don't play for Philly. And Kevin Hayes comes out and he's like, that dude's a fucking clown. I never said any of that shit. And apparently Kevin Hayes and his whole family is getting death threats now from Philly fans. We're telling this kid this. And yeah, so basically wild story, but it's all sorted, but it's just, that's nuts, dude.
I want like a stud like MLB prospect to get drafted like first overall by the Cardinals, and then just him being a diehard Cubs fan. He's like, "Fuck you guys, trade."
That's kind of like the baseball equivalent to this. It's like if
I want to see that.
This absolute stud out of high school, and the kid gets drafted, and right away they're like, who's your favorite player? And he's like, Chris Bryant, man. Loved it when he won the World Series, like great years in Chicago. And then he goes and plays college ball for 2 years and comes back and it's just like, you know what? Get fucked. Trade me now. I'm not playing for the Cardinals ever.
No, like I always wonder that because like, I mean, obviously they're professionals, right? Like they get to the league and like, yeah, like they're whatever fan of their that they were when they were younger, maybe they still have a little in that, but they know it's a business. Right. They got to play for the team. But I do wonder sometimes if like guys who were passionate, like diehard fans of whatever team that they're playing in the league, if they're ever thinking like, man, fuck this, get me out of here.
We have a new wrinkle into the story, and it just happened.
Ooh.
So anyone that's watched any kind of hockey knows John Tortorella. Like OG, dickhead coach, everyone, whatever. He's the coach of the Flyers now. And apparently he just came to the podium after their game and he's like, hey, is the guy here that caused Kevin Hayes and his family's all the problem? I want to talk to you right now. Like, he's like, I want to call this dude out. Oh, man, the video keeps buffering. I want to watch this shit. But we have a baseball question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think Bellinger at 6 years, 185 gets it done?
Let me do the math.
I think 6 at 2.
Let me do the math.
I don't think it's going to go below 2. Yeah, I think 6 and 2 is what gets it done with some opt-outs.
That's $30 million a year, almost 31 at 6 for 185. Obviously, I'm not in the room. I don't know what numbers are being thrown around on the Cubs side. I know what Scott Boras has been asking for. I think that might be around what the Cubs might be offering. They probably don't want to get to 200 million. They would probably be fine with the years just to drive the AAV down, or maybe not, because Jed Hoyer has said how he doesn't like doing long deals. But I think Bruce Levine talked about it, how it's basically the Cubs are offering, or this is, I think might have been his speculation. They're offering 6 years at about 160, and obviously Boris wants 8 years, like 240. So they're gonna have to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
and that's going to be close to the 200 million.
7 for 210.
I think if 7 for 210 was on the table, he would have signed already. But I don't think anyone is offering him that.
No, I think it's 6 somewhere. I think the 6 and low 185.
I don't think it's about the years. I think he just wants the number.
Yep.
I've been thinking about this. Again, I don't know, but I think Scott Boras at the beginning of offseason, like as we've said, he works for Cody Bellinger. They got together. They threw out the number 300 million. Remember when we started seeing that number? It's like 300 million. I think they did that very much knowing that they were going to get to January. No team was going to be offering that, so that they can just go back and be like, all right, guys, fine. We started at 3 million. Let's go down to 250. Yeah. And then the teams are going to be interested. They're going to be like, all right, guys, come on. We're going to cut 30% from our initial asking. We're going from 300 million to 200 million. This is a bargain for you guys. I think that's the way they're playing it right now.
Yeah, that works.
So I agree with Kevin. I think 200 is the magic number.
Yeah, I've made a career out of that, doing just that.
But I don't think the offers are there yet. Not that they're not going to be there. I just don't think they're in yet.
Yep. And the beautiful part about what he does is he doesn't need to be working with anybody. He's an outfielder and he's a hitter and he's doing his own thing anyway. So he can show up the first day of wherever he's playing and be fine. I think
my initial prediction was 7 for 175. And I mean, they can do like 8 for 200, I guess, off those numbers. But yeah, I think maybe the $200 million is the magic number. Maybe again, they've been thrown out, or it's been suggested before, the 3-year deal with the opt-outs that Correa got, high AAV for those couple of years. But yeah, I still think we got a couple weeks for that one, at least a couple weeks.
We'll see too. I mean, it only takes someone maybe hit that number and then, hey, can you match this? No, then all right, we're done. But who's going to do that? You get desperate teams too, sooner or later. That's why I always worry about the Giants. It's just simply because what the Dodgers have done creates desperation.
Yeah.
And that's such a dangerous, again, and all the failure, like we brought up earlier, that the Giants have dealt with, almost inadvertently as a knee-jerk reaction. I always worry about them just throwing caution.
But it is funny. I titled last week's episode, it's just like a staring contest. And like, honestly, that's what it is. Like, we know that they're in conversations. Like, that we know that the Cubs are involved with Rhys Hoskins. Mm-hmm. That's been known since like November. It's like, yeah, they're interested. They want to do a similar Cody Bellinger, 1 year plus the mutual option, that pillow contract, or maybe a multi-year deal. We know the Cubs are talking to Boras. Obviously, they've been talking about with Bellinger. Like, that's the big name. It's just a big old waiting it out. Who's going to blink first? That's all it is right now.
Staring contest.
Matt Chapman is on the menu.
You always do.
It just, and that's the thing. We keep saying like, well, it seems like the Cubs are like the only main suitor, but again, it only takes one other team to get in the mix, and then you get the Padres signing Manny Machado out of nowhere. So that could very much happen with the Cubs and some other team with Bellinger.
And then we cry tears of sadness. Ooh. Zoe.
Still
Can't hear you.
Because I muted myself.
Oh, there he was.
Because I was listening to the Tortorella press conference thing real quick.
Was he calling out the reporter?
Yeah, and the reporter was there. And he's like, who's responsible? The guy goes, me. And he goes, you? And the guy goes, yeah. And he goes, where the fuck do you get off? He just goes off in the press conference. It's like, oh, well, this is very Philly. This is perfect. I see why Philly fans have adopted him so well. He did make a good point, though.
By the way, I do want to point out we still have bidders out there. $15 to beat. If anybody in the chat wants to beat little yumpers.
But
donation very much appreciated. Everyone donated.
He made a very good point about people that do shows or blogs or any of that shit. He's just like, you do realize like that's going to stick with them for the rest of your life. It's completely wrong what you said. Like it's not. There's no truth to it. But now there's people out there that'll never leave.
Who are we talking about?
Hockey.
Kick rocks. Mitch.
Okay.
I'm really used to it because it's gonna that ain't going away anytime. The TikTok algorithm just blessed the timeline with that. Oh no, we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, so I was gonna kind of wrap it up here. But I guess you came back, so we'll start with you, Mitch. You got any final thoughts? Any final things you want to talk about?
I do actually. So yesterday, so we had a bit. I'm sure you guys got some snow up there in the Chicagoland area too. Yep. We had a lot of snow come through Monday. We had to do blizzard coverage all day, standing out, snowing sideways. Not fun. But anyway, I had planned. I was going. My brother had courtside seats to the Nebraska-Purdue game, like a #1 team in the country. Had a day of PTO. The problem was the blizzard was still going that Tuesday. So, my parents like, oh, you shouldn't drive up, whatever. It was like 9 a.m. I'm like, fuck it, we're going. We took a day PTO. We're gonna drive. Terrible decision. Terrible decision. The roads, brutal. Like it was actually scary. Like it was about a 4.5-hour drive. Took about 6 hours. Shout out though, snowplow drivers. I mean, first off, like when having to cover that blizzard, because they talk about how they have to I don't know what it's like up in Illinois, but Missouri, they're super short staff for the Department of Transportation. So like Dougie, I'm sure you saw him posting on Twitter. They got to work like 18-hour shifts, going up and down. Unsung heroes, so clutch. If it wasn't for them, would not have made it.
I'm agreeing with you. Before we lost your internet connection,
I think what happened was he was actually just hit by a snowplow while thinking.
He just got plowed.
He just got plowed.
Totally agree with his assessment though. But
he's
two of them.
Yep.
I have no idea what happened. But anyway, long story short, big shout out snowplow drivers. Was not for them. Would not have made it to Nebraska. Would not have been able to storm the court. I thought old wheelman Kaminsky could handle driving a blizzard. I was wrong. That was terrible. Shout out snowplow guys. I don't know if that's flagging still, if you heard any of that, but
I will say they work some long ass hours, but homeboys get paid. I used to bartend with a dude that was a snowplow driver too, and he used to call it white gold because he made a lot of money.
Cocaine, I bet.
Snowplow.
Snow.
Wasn't that kind of bar.
Of course.
That anyone knows of. But
it was wild though. I saw like some semi trucks like flipping over and shit. It was because they were the only ones basically on the road. I was the only dumbass like actual car.
Yep.
Kick rocks, Mitch.
I'm just not talking. I don't know why it keeps kicking me out.
There's two of you.
So many. No. Yes, but long story short, Mitch, I agree with you. Snowplow. They were ready to go up here, man. It's like they've been itching. This was like the first like actual snow we've had this year.
Yeah.
So when it hit, I woke up at like 7 a.m. I go look outside and that's just plowed already. I was like, oh.
It was amazing how quickly it all melted over here too. Like we still got like snow, but the roads are completely fine today after being winter wonderland yesterday.
True story.
That's fair. That happened today. You weren't plowing the road though. You were going home.
No, I was just I was.
No, not you. Baloney in the comments. He's giving me shit because we almost head on.
That was a weak ass honk, by the way. I couldn't even. I heard there's a claim that he honked at you. I couldn't hear him honk.
No, he honked. I didn't even realize it was him until he honked. I looked over. I was like, because I was too busy.
Does he have an Oga horn?
No,
Oh,
standard.
standard.
Yeah.
Roadrunner sound.
Fidge, you got anything you want to wrap up with?
Well, make sure you guys go to Uncle Bud's to get a steak sandwich. Put it on the Underhill tab. And then I'm just super excited about Shota. I think this is going to be fun for Cub fans to enjoy watching someone that is in their prime, and that pitches the way that he does. So I'm super intrigued. It gives me a little bit of excitement. And also spring training opening day, Cubs White Sox. I'll be there. So those of you that are going to be there, make sure you look for us. Maybe Aldo, hopefully we'll be there. Maybe even Zoe. But looking forward to that. So yeah, super stoked to see you.
Zoe, you said it was free 99.
Yeah,
It was, but other things have happened in the last 5 days.
This is what happens. You don't wrap it up. Am I right, Mitch?
Oh,
I'm not. I'm already getting one ass kicking from Little Zoe. I can't have his wife kicking my ass now too.
Yeah, that would not be good for you.
I mean, you don't even need to. You said you were training him. I mean, let's be honest. He's probably kicking my ass now.
The kids, yep, he's ready to go. He's up to. He's doing like Hot Wheels bench presses. The Hot Wheels hats that we get him. He's down there knocking those out. But, what was I gonna say? Yeah, shit has come up where I was told if I leave the city, I will be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, someone's got a hit out on Zoe.
Well, I mean, that's been the case for about 10 years, but no. It's,
house arrest, huh? No.
My birthday's the next week, and I believe there's things coming together for that. Yeah. So, yep, that's all. But although you got anything?
I think just for Cubs fans, the off season that we thought we were going to get in December, I think it's actually going to happen here in January. Hopefully, I think we'll see a hitter or two within the month. So look out for that, and check it out on sportsmockery.com.
And
That's professional right there.
I would imagine that if the Cubs have a storm of free agent signings, well, yeah, that too. But still,
Nasal Ranger sniffed out his stash.
Yeah,
Rest.
that's that motherfucker. If there's a flurry of free agent signings, we'll jump on here, or at least the Cubs guys will, because Mitch, me and you are pretty safe. We don't have to worry about that. But
Yeah.
A Cease trade? Cease trade could happen.
Cease trade could happen.
Cleared waivers. I mean, that was big.
There you go. That's why they DFA'd him. They knew nobody was going to pick him.
The bunt meister himself. Did not a big market for 30-year-old rookies. So.
Grinders. 30-year-old grinders.
Good bunter.
Yeah, Mitch, I guess if you're around if and when the Cease trade happens, I'll definitely jump on, because that'll be but I personally think it's I think it's going to be trade deadline, which I'm okay with. I actually think that is a good thing for Getz.
Yep.
I didn't just piss down his leg and take the first thing that came toward him.
I agree.
But
the only thing that I'm concerned about, and I have faith in my boy, so I'm hesitant to even put out the bad vibes, but like if he bombs in April, that could affect the trade stock a little bit.
You're definitely.
Always a risk.
Or he gets injured too. You got to worry about that. But
or
we'll see.
Ball out, make an all-star team.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Sign him.
That's what I'm putting my chips in too.
Extension.
It's interesting.
5 years, $150 million.
We're still talking about the White Sox.
He's got Scott Boras, Aldo. They were not going to
Scott Boras.
No, even if he had me as his agent, the White Sox don't pay pitching.
That's true.
They just don't do it.
Hey, you try. You got
Who's that guy? That agent from the HBO show? His agent's like, I represent athletes.
Arliss.
Yeah, that's who.
Arliss.
That's who we need.
Fucking great show.
That show was awesome.
Yeah. Richard Wall.
Mitch, what do you know about Arliss? You're too young for that shit.
I'm cultured, man. I get around. I know my pop culture references.
I'll give you the Shaq meme for that one. I was not aware of your game. That was
Deep cut.
Arliss was a good pull there. I used to love that show.
That's
I was a kid though. Fuck. All right. We're over 2 hours, folks. Thank you for the wild. Oh, Mitch, you weren't here. We had a bidding war for super chats.
Wait for it.
And then Yumper just basically big balled everybody.
Up a nuke.
Ended everything.
Put it on the table.
Thank you all for the super chats. They're all greatly appreciated. And appreciate all the support. Appreciate that there's still somehow 16 people watching the show. And appreciate all the love. We'll be back next week. But again, if something big happens, we'll jump back on. Everybody be cool. Take care of each other. Drive safe, Mitch. And we'll see you guys next